All right, I'm going to get started. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. In case you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Elise Fry, and I'm the Director of the Health Plan Options here at URL Insurance Group. Feel free to reach out to myself or anyone on my team for any group health assistance. For some quick housekeeping items, there is a chat feature that you can go ahead and ask any questions in the Q&A. There's also some handouts. Now that we have that out of the way, I'm excited to have John Troutman here to host part 2 of our Turnkey Solutions for employer groups. Today we're going to be focused on benefits education. So without further ado, please take it away, John.
Thank you so much, Elise. I always enjoy working with URL. I've worked with you and others there for a number of years in different capacities, and it's always great to be supporting you in any way that I can. Again, we're talking about benefits technology for education to the world of gaining and retaining clients. You know, often we don't think about the concept of gaining and retaining clients necessarily through education, but that's what we're going to talk about today. For those of you who may not know me or may have never heard me speak before, perhaps, I have been in central Pennsylvania almost my entire life. I grew up in Lancaster County, have 4 kids ranging from 29 to 23. I have a grandbaby that she's a little bit over a year. I've been heavily involved in the community, from coaching various sports to other areas of volunteering. So like many of you, I've been heavily involved in the community. I've been living in central Pennsylvania to this day, very much desiring to make an impact in those organizations that I've been involved with. And I believe many of you want to make that impact as well. That's why you're on this call as we talk about education. I am the Regional Director of Business Development for PES Benefits. We are a benefits technology company that helps improve the engagement of employees, employers across the board. So I am not going to be giving you any type of sales presentation about my company, but there'll be some information there. I will probably not give you all of our secret sauce necessarily, but this is meant to be an overview of benefits technology when it comes to education and how you can get the most value. I am certain with today's presentation, there are a couple of things that could be maybe surprises for you, but I'm hoping that each and every one of you can walk away with some nuggets of gold to be better advisors and get better success. That's my objective today. And here are some objectives for all of us. We're going to talk about overcoming the myths in benefits education. So when you look at these objectives, you might ask yourself some other questions. Okay, what might those myths be? So you want to plant that seed for you to be thinking about that. We're also going to talk about to expose traditional education, how that could actually place you at risk. Well, how could that possibly place me at risk? I've done it this way my entire life or my entire career. And we're going to another objective is to understand what a year-round plan should look like. What does that look like? How can technology be a supportive means of that? How can a technology provider be a way to come alongside you? So again, I'm not just trying to be self-promoting here. There are many other organizations out there that do what I do, and it's just for your benefit to understand how they can assist you and to help you understand what that should look like. To understand how a year-round plan impacts employees. Yes, it will. And to understand how your plan impacts the employer. And last but not least, to understand how your strategy can help you grow. We're going to talk about that on today's call. So whether you're watching this live or you're watching this afterwards, we're going to talk about the myths here in benefits education. And I want to just take a minute now to let you think about that. If you're taking notes alongside, what are some things that you would write down? If you were asked, what are the myths in benefits education, what would you write down? I am certainly not going to go through all of the myths today, and I don't know which ones you have written down. But for the sake of today's call, we're just going to talk about these 3 right here. Open enrollment is good enough for educating employees. Okay. My question would be, now you need to understand, I deal with benefit advisors all around the country and have been for the last 12 years in various roles. And these are some things that these advisors have said to me. Open enrollment is good enough. My question is, what does that mean? Good enough? Good enough for what? So there are some questions that can even be asked within that person. The data says this, and the data that I'm going to be sharing you with today is case specific to results that we have found as a company, that we've surveyed and polled various clients. We've done white papers on, and we've also done some research for our group. So this is very interesting. 78% of employees feel more satisfied with their benefit choices made when given year-round education. 78%. That's some powerful data right there. The second myth is this, although there could be many others: benefits education can't impact employee retention, right? I've heard advisors tell me many times over the years, well, it's just, I go there, I do it once a year, we're in and we're out. How can that possibly affect employee retention? Well, that's because you're in there one time, right? So 82% feel more valued and supported and are more likely to stay after being given year-round education. Now, again, we're gonna paint the picture for you all and paint a picture. There's different ways to make that portrait of year-round education, but the value is 82% feeling more valued and supported that will stay there simply because of you educating them about their benefits. Lastly, on this point here today, my educating efforts can't possibly improve employee productivity, right? We're talking about benefits. What might they possibly have? These are some things. And again, maybe you're watching this presentation, you're saying, well, I don't believe that. I know many advisors that do believe that number 3 there, that their efforts can't possibly improve overall productivity of the employee population. 92% expressed feeling more motivated at work after receiving year-round benefit education. You know, it's the understanding of the benefits, not just merely the information of the benefits, right? Because many people don't even read what they're given or follow along. And as we'll see there with the note, I know one person has commented. I'm not going to read who has made these comments for the sake of this presentation, both live and later. The quote is, "Employees are dumb when it comes to employee benefits." And we'll talk about that perspective as well. How does traditional education place me at risk? So I speak to advisors, and these are some things that I hear around the country, not just in central Pennsylvania, even though my territory is Ohio, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. I hear these things because I have many connections around the nation. And I have these discussions with advisors. And it's important to note these 5 points right here. 80% of employers reported that their employees do not open or read benefit materials. I wonder if that's your same experience. I know we've got some comments and the ability in the chat room for you to even live and engage this, but I'm wondering if you're experiencing that same thing, that 80% of employers believe that their employees don't even open or read their benefits. So I was CEO at a medical cost sharing entity about a year ago. And when I first got there, I asked for all the information and how they informed the members of that health plan. What did that look like? So they showed me what I was going to receive as part of my package, and it was over 25 pages long. So it was unbelievable. It was so much information. I kind of looked over it, but I certainly did not even look through the entire thing. And I was the CEO. Needless to say, we changed that data. We changed that marketing plan, and we made it a lot more simple for the average user. So 80%, that may be conservative, actually, of how many employees actually read all of their information they're given. Again, in the notes, the common myths. Again, I thank the person who's commenting in the comments that a myth out there is, the actual myth is that employees are dumb when it comes to employee benefits. Yeah, that is a myth, right? It's not that they're dumb. It's because maybe they weren't being explained the information. So that's a very powerful comment. I appreciate that person commenting here today. 62% of employees 62% of employees stick with their previous plan due to the stress of open enrollment and their lack of understanding. So the challenge can be, and I know many advisors do this, and perhaps on today's presentation, maybe all of you are doing this, but there is greater value when as an advisor, you put yourself into the shoes of the actual employee, right? That helps in understanding education for these individuals year round, because they're not thinking about benefits year round. That may be your career choice, but it isn't theirs. They may be here in central Pennsylvania, manufacturing, or they may be a provider of healthcare. Who knows? I don't know who your clients are or who your prospects are, but there's great value in putting yourself in their shoes, making it simple and easier to understand. That's how you can actually lower their stress when it comes time to even go over and review those benefits. The other part is this, in point 3, 51% of employees admitted making at least $750 worth of errors during open enrollment. So we don't know what we don't know. So sometimes people think they need something when they may not. So there's $750 that they spent, that they really didn't need to. So you can be a part of that process and that comfort, lowering stress, making better financial decisions for their own home. That can be a very powerful thing. 91% of advisors admitted employers lean on them for year-round communication. I think that's probably true. They're going to lean on you. They're going to trust you. So really the question I have for everyone here today and for those watching at another time, are you communicating effectively year-round for employee understanding compared to your competitors? So I hear a lot of brokers around the country, what they're doing, how they're changing their plans. And I'm going to be very transparent about this. There's a growing demand for those who have multiple locations to be reaching out to other providers, to tech solutions, using technology, and also boots on the ground to help with that process in education, because they want them to have a better experience and they want them to have a better understanding, not just to merely give the data. So what does that mean? What does that look like? From my own personal experience where I work, we use the services that we sell. So I had a benefits coach call me when it was our open enrollment. It was a scheduled call for 20 minutes. And it literally took 10 minutes to go through my benefit options. And they gave me the scenario of where I was in life. And I was a discussion back and forth. They helped me understand the process. I could ask questions. It was individual. It was not face-to-face. It wasn't a video call. It was just over the phone, but it was incredibly helpful. And I must say transparently, and I'm not saying because it's our own service, it's the truth. It was so simple. I never heard benefits explained so simple to me, one-on-one like that. It was a great experience. So when you work with a partner like that, using technology and various things, whether that's a virtual call or even additional boots on the ground for larger groups or multiple sites, it can help having you get better communication and have it be more effective for your group. So here's one we're going to spend quite a bit of time on. What really should that look like? What should a year-round communication look like? And again, I want to encourage everyone to reach out. If you got a larger group and it's a challenge for you, what does that look like? Well, how can we possibly do that? We don't have the technology. Your technology partners do. They have the ability through platforms to send email notifications, to send text messages. So you can use the technology, but also you can stay in front of them in a year-round basis. From what I have seen, those advisors around the country that are engaging that employee population multiple times throughout the year and being in front of them 4 times a year as opposed to 1 time a year, they have amazing retention with those groups through the course of time. So what does that look like? I don't want to make anyone feel overwhelmed. How could I possibly do this? You might be saying, well, John, how can you say that? I've got 200 groups. So here's what that might look like working with a technology partner. Break it down into quarters. So what are some things you could focus on? And this is a question for everyone watching today or those watching later. Make your own list here. What are some things that would be relevant topics to your groups in the first quarter? You know, it's a new year. It's a new you. It might be the benefits. Maybe obviously it's the benefits plan for the year. But think about the mindset of the employees with your groups throughout the year. Now that may vary group by group, right? So think about that. Write those things down. What are some things that I could target my groups to be of value, to stay in front of them, to be more top of mind, to be having them thinking more about their benefits, and what benefits should I be talking about to keep them top of mind because of those things. Now, on the next slide, we're going to give very specifics, more specifics to this area, but think about that with your groups. What are the things that you keep top of mind in that first quarter? New Year's resolutions, right? And the list goes on. Springing forward in the second quarter. What are some things you could do to stay in front of them that way? Oftentimes in the second quarter and even in the extension of the first quarter, you know, I work out regularly and it is amazing the number of people that are at the gym, the increased number of people that are at the gym in January. But what happens by March? Right? That Planet Fitness that was once jam-packed at 5:30 in the morning, come March, it's now a thinning herd, right? So once we get to April, so the second quarter, maybe that's a great time. How are you doing with your New Year's resolutions? What's your progress there? Having value add of helping people think about their own wellness and well-being can be a great way to keep those benefits top of mind, as well as who your wellness providers are, mental health and all those things. And again, I'm going to refer more specifically in the second slide, or the slide that's after this one right here. Q3, taking PTO, return to school, you know, what benefits help people while they travel, and also prepare them for the upcoming school season. There's a lot of stress involved for parents many times when their kids go back to school. I mentioned earlier, I am the father of 4 kids. They're my kids, but they're all in their 20s. But I can remember what was involved in getting them ready, getting vacation. We took family vacations, so getting ready for trips. There was some stress involved, obviously, in where we were going, what benefits, so that we'll cover them when we go abroad, etc. So keeping those types of relevant topics can be very powerful. And again, obviously in fourth quarter, do employees have information in a simple format to make a knowledgeable decision? Those things can go out ahead of time. But again, using that technology provider to work with you to set those things up, and also with those individual groups with HR as well. And I'm going to paint a picture here for you so you can actually see what that might look like, because I know some of you are very visual like I am. What might that really look like on a month-by-month basis? And I'm not going to spend a ton of time going into all of these individual areas. But again, leveraging that technology partner, you see January there with resolutions, goals, and reminders for those things. So all throughout the year, working with your technology partner, again, we're talking about, so if you have groups that, if they were in ease, if they were in, if they're now being moved to Navigator, or if they're in bSwift or PlanSource, whatever they're using, there are capabilities and technological capabilities to communicate with them that you can do that on a regular basis. And I'm going to read this note here for everyone's benefit. For a large group home healthcare company, this individual created a 5-minute video explaining the benefits. The open ratio was 89%, which is amazing. This is a simple way to get employees to review their benefits at their leisure and with family members. That's excellent. I appreciate this person sharing. And we're going to talk about those ways as well. A little bit of effort, a little bit of extra value add is going to help with that engagement. And again, I want to thank this individual for sharing. That's fantastic. The open rate was 89%. That's wonderful. So again, I'm not going to go through this on a month-by-month basis, but I want everyone to be aware of the great value that you can have simply by just taking a little bit of time and thinking about what that employee population of that specific group is going through and setting it up. And you can set that up, and it can be automated, it can be programmed, it can be scheduled and sent out, that you don't have to add it to something you've got to do in the fourth quarter when you're already busy, or the third quarter when you're preparing for being so busy, right? So these things can be automated as long as you set them up in advance, and having that ability with a technology partner can really lower their stress, but also lower yours and increase that retention. Again, we're talking about year-round communication. What can that look like? Depending on what technology partner you have, some of those things can be automated when they take an action step. So if they go to the company's website and they go into their benefits and they click on certain things, that can be, those action steps can be auto-generated so that they can be followed up as well. So reminding them about zero copay with their virtual health solution. If they ask about certain medication, you can remind them about their RX plan on their phone. Or even in some cases, some of these plans offer free medication. So again, I don't know all the plans that are out there. I'm not even going to go into that universe, but understanding those things that could be automated when they take those steps on the platform is very beneficial as well, so they can be reminded of their other benefits. Asking about PTO, you can remind them about their mental health solutions that can help them throughout the year so that they can have more enjoyable vacations or more enjoyable time off as well. So again, you are the experts when it comes to advising and it comes to the benefit packages that are out there. So you can understand how you can set those things up with HR and to set those things up with the platform that they have. I'm not going to tell you that all platforms are the same. Every platform is very different, and you cannot do all of these things with some platforms, but others you can. So having that understanding of that partner who can walk you through and explain what you can do is very valuable as well. You should find that technology partner who is your technology partner, not just your technology vendor. There's a difference, right? So they will work with you to solve problems and solve challenges together. That's the value of finding that right technology partner. So what should a year-round communication look like? Again, we're addressing this all in many different facets. So we do this, and this is actually things that we work with at PES. But again, I want to be very clear. This is not anything I'm just steering towards myself. There are many other companies out there who do this as well. But thinking about these things, in-person sessions that are face-to-face, even for large groups and individuals, the power of body language. It's amazing what happens when you have a one-to-one experience and you can see a person's facial expression. It's not just their tone that you hear in their voice, but it can actually calm people much better by having that opportunity. I know not every group can be done that way. So being able to provide a call center, being able to provide actual phone call setup like I described, can be very helpful. And just having that one-to-one, it helps a person ask those questions that they probably wouldn't ask in a large group. And you know this, right? You as the experts in the field know this and experience this firsthand. Having on-site hours where there is additional counselors there. So one of the things we do is all of our counselors, all of our benefit counselors, these are licensed individuals. So when you work with a technology partner that helps with education, it's very important to ask, who are these benefit counselors? Are they part-time individuals? Are they licensed for health insurance? What really is their skill set? What is their background? What's their expertise? Because not all of them are the same. So understanding that if you're going to make those decisions to work with a technology partner to do education, know who these people are and what their expertise is, because again, it's exposing them to your employee population through your groups, and you need to know what their expertise is. Again, the individual here shared about talking about making videos, webinars. These can be webinars. They can be done like this one here today. You can invite individuals to be on it, and you can record it and send it out to the entire employee population. Videos, and these don't have to be long. I love, again, going back to what this person just shared here today, 5-minute videos, just 5-minute videos explaining benefits. Got that open rate of 89%. These little personalized touches are not just going to help with the understanding of the benefits. I mean, that's what they're for, but it's also going to help you with your stickiness. And it's not just your stickiness, but it's going to be the value that you add to the employees and to that employer. It's why I've heard many brokers say, I've been working with this group and I've been doing everything on this slide. And the employer said to me, fill in the blank, this is my person. I'm never going to leave him or her. And I've heard that, across the board with many advisors that I work with. So again, podcasts, again, it's a way to make it fun. Again, we may not have the time and availability to do all of these things, but be creative with this. It doesn't have to be just a one-shot wonder one time of the year. There's ways to make it fun and enjoyable, and it doesn't have to be that long. Chat groups, emails, again, text messages and emails can be set up in advance and generated so that they can go out on time at a certain point in time. You don't have to do those in instant time or in real time. And again, using apps. So the benefit of having an app where it has all their benefits in one place can be very valuable. That's something that we do. I know there's other providers that do that as well. Being able to use their smartphone to access their benefits for not just enrolling, but also getting the information that they need, having their digital insurance cards, everything being in one place, it makes the world of benefits, which is so confusing, be so much more simple and flexible and personal. So I know that's a lot. I gave you a lot of lists, but thinking about what that really could look like, I want to expand that horizon for some who may be just looking at, we just meet with the group one time of the year. It's going to help you with that group in so many ways. I really want to challenge you and encourage you to think about year-round communication. Here is a list that answers the question, how does year-round education actually impact the employees? And again, I'd love to ask some of you that are watching today or those maybe watching later to shoot me your thoughts of how it, what are some experiences that you have found that it's impacted the employees? I've heard some tremendous stories. I've heard people say, I didn't even, when they switched brokers and the broker that they received was much more engaged with them. I had people tell me, I never realized we even had this benefit, right? They're not going to use the benefits that they don't know they have, right? So better decisions at enrollment, lower stress and understanding what you have before you need it. That's what all these things are about, right? Obviously increased utilization, happier and healthier employee populations. Who wouldn't want that, right? Reducing the errors. So it's amazing what happens when people are aware of their EAP program, and then it's a good EAP program. It engages them at a personal level. It could also cover their entire home if you have a specific plan that does that, right? So keeping that in front of them lowers their stress. What we fail to realize, and this is an example of this slide, and I hope you can bear with me on this. When employee stress is lowered, instead of being so heightened that the next thing just takes them up over the edge, now they're down here and it's not as severe. Getting them to use those benefits they have lowers their stress and improves the experience. It's the perception that things are so stressful. It may not really be that stressful. It's just everything else in that employee's life that is going on has added up, and they weren't able to really process all of that or get the help that they need. So being able to stay in front of them, having them be aware of their benefits can truly reduce the errors. And in some cases, those errors could be very costly financially, but also safety. I know many of you work in the world where there's construction or manufacturing, heavy machinery and things like that. So people's lives could actually be at stake based off of their actions, based off of their stress levels. So again, it makes a big difference in the employees population. So I want to encourage those of you who were on this presentation today that are doing a great job, doing your best effort around the year, and also challenge those who may not be informing about the benefits throughout the year to think about that and what they could do differently. So again, some of the things that we have found with our groups, and again, I can give you more data behind this if you want the resources from our company, but some of the things we found were this. So across the board, every single employer that we surveyed said greater peace of mind. Now think about that. You as the advisor, simply by being more engaged throughout the year, you're going to give that person greater peace of mind. This is a confusing industry. Benefits can be very challenging and complex. And I would wager to say that most employers don't understand them the way that you do as advisors. So you can give them greater peace of mind. Reducing costs. right? So if you have a robust telehealth plan and you get greater utilization because you're staying in front of them, I know, there are various levels of utilization when it comes to telehealth, but if you have one that's very robust, and now they're steering that utilization away from their network, now you're going to be reducing costs and what's being used in the plan. So you reduce costs in multiple ways. That can be a topic all of itself. But we have also noticed with the groups we surveyed, 350% profitability on average compared to those who just simply go one time a year. So those are some powerful things when it comes to not just gaining, but retaining those employers and the impact you'll have specifically with your employers. Now, gaining and retaining. So I want to talk about the whole concept of gaining. So I have found many times that employers talk to one another, right? We know this. So it's not just about growing the group as the employee population grows. It's not just about, education. Okay, there's a new hiree. That technology partner is going to be a part of that process, and we're going to educate that new hire on the benefits they have. Yes, that's valuable, but also the horizontal growth. And what I mean by that is this: employers talk to one another and networking. Again, I'm going to go back to that illustration where that advisor, the employer was talking with me, and they said, "This person is my person. I'm not going to get another broker. As long as they're alive, I'm going to go with them." And they were saying this in a group of other employers. Well, that's a powerful reference, a powerful testimony of experience. And one thing that can't be denied is our experiences. So when you have an employer talking so favorably about you with others that they're just that excited about what you're doing for them and their employees, it makes a big difference to grow. They're going to talk to others. They're going to be a part of your marketing plan, even though you're not giving them anything for marketing. That can be very powerful in your world and for that employer moving forward. So it improves your worth as a broker that advisors year round. Again, I talked about this. I work with benefit coaches around the country. That's a quote from Ryan Miller. From what he's seen, he said 92% of advisors do not advise. So that's powerful. You can be a part of the minority. You can be one of the exceptions to that rule, and that'll create more stickiness for retention, but also horizontal growth as well in getting other groups. Other employers would want to be a part of that, right? You're going to advise them with those tough decisions. You're going to explain those things, and you're going to be there throughout the year. That is the role of a partner, not just an advisor. And that's the benefit that does on a year-round basis. It also manifests that you care about the employees, not just that check you're going to get off of benefits. Making an impact, and I would encourage you to even use that. I work with advisors, again, around the country, and I hear this time and time again, the advisors that say, we're here to make an impact, not just an income. And that gets the attention of the employers because they're explaining in greater detail throughout the year, we are here for your employees. I have found in my experience, most employers genuinely care about their employees. They want to make a difference in the lives of the employees. They want to make it a good experience. And the data is there that employees feel like they're a part of something, they'll want to go to work. It's not just there to collect a paycheck. So what you're passing on with impact over income to the employer can also be passed on to the employee simply by you educating people year round and getting better utilization. And again, the right technology partner can help with that. That's not just your job. They can help bear that load and also schedule those marketing strategies with you. It also improves trust. That makes it stickier when others come knocking. So having that relationship with that employer really genuinely and sincerely as the advisor, it's going to create stickiness. And I know that we're in a world where employers' doors are being knocked on, that cold calling and agencies are calling regularly to these employers. So your clients are certainly, it can be a very challenging thing for you thinking about, will I lose this group? What's not on here is this. It's also going to give you greater peace of mind. I don't know of anybody who would look back and say, well, I really regret reaching out to that group throughout the year. We've got better utilization. They're healthier overall. I'm really sorry about that, right? So you're making a difference in the lives of that employee population, and that's going to give you greater peace of mind. It's also going to help lower your stress when those other people start knocking when they're the competition. So I know we're ahead of schedule here in this presentation. I always want to leave time as well. Are there any other questions that are here today that you may have? Again, you may have some later. You have my information. If you have questions, you can reach out to me or Elise. I'll be glad to answer those and help support you. I want to help you have greater success in gaining and retaining clients or those prospects you're dealing with. So education is a big part of that, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have at this time.
Thank you. John, as always, you're so informative and knowledgeable in all of these things. And really, honestly, reach out to myself or John with any questions. Like he said, it's not an advertisement for PES, but it's a great company. He's a great guy, great to work with. So I appreciate you doing this. Please tune in for parts 3 and 4. Those are coming up, I think, one's later this month. So again, thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Elise. Have a great day.
See ya.